Today's podcast is brought to you by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, well, let me explain. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free. It has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many other platforms. You don't even have to think about it. You just load up your podcast, you drop it in, you tweak it, you add ads. You can make money from your podcast. There's no minimum listenership either. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Club Cool puts the podcast out on Anchor. So do all the other Wash Media podcasts. And we've done this from other platforms. Nothing is as seamless or pretty or easy or just, perfect for putting out a podcast. So check out Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to the club.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, for another edition of the Club Cool podcast. I am your host, Barrett Dudley, and we are back after a week off. I'm joined, of course, by my old pal, Phil Battaglia.
Nice, I see what you did.
What's
there.
going on, Phil?
Not much.
I feel like I made that joke the last time you wore that t-shirt. This time, it came to me just like right as I was introducing you.
That hit.
It hit, but also right at the same time, I was like, I think I may have said this before, but at that point, it was too late.
Too late?
I had to go. And that's what I did. Anyway, it's good to be back in studio. We are both back from glorious California sunshine, and we're going to recap our vacations today. I've got a few questions for you. We'll talk about what you learned, what you saw, what was the big star of your suitcase, how was the travel experience overall, best part, worst part. Those are all things that we're going to dive into on the back half of the podcast as we do a little vacay talk. But first, we'll hit on some fashion and some style news, a little pop culture minute, and just shoot the shit, man. How about that?
Great.
Glad to be here. Glad to be back. Let's go. We're gonna talk about a couple of streetwear and fashions guiding lights here, right? We got some Virgil news, some Virgil Abloh news, and we've got a Kanye tidbit or two. Where do you want to start?
Kanye, because
Kanye.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with his new friend.
Okay. All right. Let's start with pop culture minute.
Okay.
First, as badly as I want to leave this guy behind, you know what I mean? In a lot of the senses of the word, I just want to freeze him in a golden, drop of amber and just remember him.
Yeah.
From college dropout to T-Lop, and that's it. I just would like everything else. I would just like to hit the delete button on, but we can't. And he still has a magnetism about him, and beyond that, he still is very, very, very much somebody that I think has great foresight, great influence, and just a knack for kind of for finding what's hot in fashion and streetwear in particular. But the pop culture piece of this is that he is, by all the reports, he is dating Irina Shayk.
Okay. Pull her up.
I'm pulling her up. I'm really surprised, Phil, that you don't know who Irina Shayk is.
I'm sure I do.
But I guess you're not. I probably give you more credit for being like a like a celeb celeb knower than you deserve.
Correct. You're absolutely right. I deserve no credit.
You deserve okay. All
Zero.
Right. This is Irina Shayk.
Yeah. I guess I can tell you right now, if I saw her on the street,
you wouldn't be like, oh shit, that was Irina Shayk.
No, I'd be like, she's very attractive.
Yeah, I definitely would know who this is. She's like one of the, I don't remember if she was a Victoria's Secret angel, but she definitely walked in some of those fashion shows. She was very, very popular as a model. I mean, she still is, but she was like, her heyday was honestly like kind of in the Kanye heyday. There's this song, I don't remember if you remember when Kanye was doing Good Music Fridays, where he was just like releasing a track every Friday, and you could like go to the website, the Good Music website, and like download the MP3, and there was no Spotify yet, you know what I mean? These were like kind of like they were released, but they weren't on any album, and a bunch of the songs were really good. One of them was Christian Dior Denim Flow, where he names like a bunch of models that he wants to date, and I'm pretty sure Irina Shayk was one of them. He was tied to Selena Eubanks. I'm botching that. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember her name exactly. At one point, I remember him and her were looking fresh at some tennis matches at some point. So he's dabbled in the model scene before. But this is certainly like the highest profile kind of supermodel that's ever been on his arm.
Yeah.
Also interesting because as if you're watching on youtube.com/watchmedia, her former longtime beau and father of her children is Bradley Cooper.
How many children do they have?
One of the like top 5 man crushes on this podcast, at least from yours truly. just the one, I believe.
Okay.
And so it's a weird thing. And by the way, I also I've kind of buried the lead here. I don't know how much I actually believe this.
Yeah. Where is this coming from?
This is coming from sources. And one of the quotes, they were in Paris together. They were spending some time in Paris together. Mm-hmm. But then when they left, Kanye went to LA, Irina went to New York. And one of the quotes just gave me like big, like, methinks the lady doth protest too much vibes, where it was like an inside source says, quote, they are 100% romantically involved. And I was like, I would have bought that more if the quote was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're hooking up, like 75%.
You need to ask your boy on Instagram. What's his face?
Who's that?
The account that has all the anon.
Oh, Demois.
Demois.
Yeah. Demois was, they didn't have much info.
He wasn't on this?
It was, but it was like, I actually wasn't paying attention to Demois when all this was happening, because when all this was happening, I don't know why. It's been a busy couple of weeks. But I don't know. It just feels like a little too forced. It feels like a media thing. It feels like he's just trying to clap back at Kim real quick here with a very attractive model.
Is she
type.
linked to someone?
Kim?
Yeah.
No, not yet. But
Right.
I mean, I don't know. There's like full-on Drake songs, lyrics from Drake, where he basically insinuates that he slept with Kim.
Really?
While she was with Kanye.
That's
that just
juicy, Barrett.
It is. I got to give you the tea here on the Pop Culture Minute.
Maybe that's why there was all that beef with Drake and what's his face?
Pusha.
Yeah.
All that was factoring in.
There was some. That's Kanye's boy.
That was subtext. There was some stuff happening underneath all that.
Interesting.
I would say.
Drake from State Farm.
But I know it's weird for us to be able to dissect this as we are, we're not women, but like, is there anything that does Kanye seem like an attractive person to date at this point?
There's so much involved with Kanye though. He's one of the biggest stars in the world.
Right.
Extremely wealthy.
And you gotta I
creative.
Feel, it's the creative thing.
A lot of
like
some
people are just very, very attracted to artists.
He's not unattractive.
No. But I mean kind of beyond the looks. Like
somebody that supermodels are just like lining up for, like Bradley Cooper.
Right. Yes. Or even somebody like, Harry Styles.
Sure.
Like you just have to know that it almost has to be the tortured artist aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because you got to know that this guy doesn't totally have his head screwed on like properly.
Lyle Lovett dated what's her face?
Julia Roberts.
Right? Yeah.
What's
her face?
But he's like seems like a well-adjusted dude.
Have you seen Lyle Lovett?
Yeah, but I'm going well beyond looks here.
Okay.
Bradley Cooper is like a very, well-to-do, acclaimed actor. Kanye is like a troubled head case.
Right.
That was wearing a MAGA hat for like 2 years straight.
Yeah, that's true.
And doing all sorts of weird shit and like
I just watched that
spinning out of control with mental health struggles. So it's just like it's a weird transition is all I'm saying. On the surface, it seems like one. And the 100% quote, 100% romantically involved quote, just it hit me the wrong way. It made me think this was maybe a bit manufactured. So
it's not like he needs any more press.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah, he does crave it, doesn't he? But all it takes is just one crazy tweet and he's back. Or one crazy jacket. Segue into the
Boom!
jacket.
Beautiful segue. Beautiful segue. As we know, and as I kind of mentioned, not really mentioned, but spoke to up front, Kanye, for as much as I think the 350 Boost is wildly dead, and I don't really want any of the Wave Runner stuff, and the shoes in general with Adidas have kind of fallen off for me. I'm still very interested in what this guy's going to do next as far as clothing. Mm-hmm. And the Gap line, which we know is going to be at a somewhat approachable price point and give him a massive supply chain to work with and an economy of scale and just like all these tools that he's never really had before anywhere else to put out his Gap line. Well, it started with the pre-sale of a giant IKEA bag that was rendered as a jacket. I believe there was a New York Times headline that asked the question, can this jacket save the Gap? It was something like that, and I think it was from the Times.
It'll sell. $200.
Here's the jacket. Now, question: did you cop?
No. I'll bet it's gone. Is it on the market? Available?
No. So they released this as a pre-sale, and they did I think they did 2 kind of blasts of it.
Yeah.
I went in, I did the thing. I kind of popped in there, saw what it was about. I actually didn't see a small available, or I might have pulled trig, because this is the genius of pre-sale is that you collect all the orders and that anybody can kind of buy it if they want it. Mm-hmm. But then there is a finite number.
Yeah.
There's you create the finite number based off of the pre-sale. And so inevitably when this thing does come out, I bet you this thing resells.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So
all of it will.
Right. So it's kind of a no lose situation if you wanted to if you were okay with giving Gap 200 of your hard earned pesos right now.
I think that's a good price for that.
And
honestly.
waiting. Yeah. And I mean I don't really know what the fill is, but the design is obviously very, very interesting. I can't tell if it even has any buttons or zippers.
Yeah, no.
I think that he's been wearing this thing around, and it doesn't look like it has a closure. It's almost like just a shawl in that way. It's wacky. This was, and I think that the intention was very clearly to make some headlines with this, because it's they're choosing to make a splash with the first big release. Look at this wonky as hell jacket with no buttons or closures in a bright blue, looking like something that you'd put on to float in a pool or something. I don't know. But it's definitely...
I would love to see it in person.
Yeah.
Love to.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee it doesn't look like that.
It might not. But, I think about how the first time that we saw the Yeezy foam runner, I mean, we laughed at it. It was laughable. And the resale on it is still hilarious, The fact that people are paying $300 or $350 for a $90 foam shoe. But he was right. He basically predicted that Crocs and Hydro Mocs and this one piece rubber shoe was going to be a hit.
Right.
Well before the pandemic. He was designing that thing. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing that I always am struck by, is that sometimes even when his stuff is bad or weird or laughable, he knows what it's going towards.
Yeah.
And that's why the Gap collection is interesting, because this jacket is really funny to me right now. But it's is everybody going to be wearing 90s style shiny Missy Elliott music video Puff Daddy puffer jackets in 18 months, and we're going to look back and be like, damn.
Yeah.
That first Gap Yeezy jacket, that was it. He knew. And he doesn't bat 1,000, but the chances of some stuff from this Gap collection being really interesting and really, kind of trend setting is high. I think those chances are high. So I'm looking forward to what else they come out with. I hope it's not all pre-sale. I'd like for some of this stuff to just drop.
But you got in, if you were a medium, you could have copped it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I didn't go to any checkout screens, but it looked pretty.
There's not like a separate website for this.
Pretty
It's
straightforward.
Gap's website.
No, it was. Yeah, you went to Gap, and it was interesting because it like asks you for. You have to enter some information, and then it asks you for all your sizes, and so like I put like small and tops and like small and bottoms or whatever, and then it and your shoe size, everything else, and then it like populated this little screen that basically looked like that. It was just a white page with a blue jacket on there.
Huh.
And that was that. But yeah, definitely making a little wave with this thing.
I'd love to hear if any of the cool kids copped, and when they received.
There was a little buzz. I think somebody posted about it in the Discord, but nobody fessed up to pulling trig on it.
I don't think that's that crazy of a look. I mean, there's been a lot of puffer action out there for a while, right? With some of these high designers putting that on everything.
Yeah, I think that I would say that whether it has a closure or not, that look of it being, I mean, he's kind of pulling a little bit from the Noragi kind of kimono style look there, which again is an indicator that this is kind of that this could be really successful. The color, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
And the fact that in this photograph, it looks rather garbage baggy. Now, maybe it's like a cool technical nylon or poly or something, but it looks really, it kind of looks thin and not all that durable.
Yeah. What's that French brand that does the really nice puffers?
Montclair?
Yeah, all their stuff is super shiny. Not all of it, but a
lot of it has
is
that
really
that,
shiny.
Yes, yeah, totally. So, no, you're right. I mean, it's a puffer jacket, but I think the details are definitely what make it kind of interesting and kind of funky and kind of out there, really. So Kanye not really going anywhere in the zeitgeist, and
Just wish he'd put out a good album.
that I don't think is happening.
Why not? God, I just wish that would happen.
You can't look. I believe I don't. You can't just make good albums forever. Nobody has ever done that.
But he's been on the schneid for a while now, right?
On the schneid. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, come on. The schneid?
No.
Randy, look it up.
College dropout, late registration, graduation, 808s and heartbreak, Yeezus, The Life of Pablo. Am I forgetting one?
The ones after.
Watch the Throne is 7. That's 7 basically classics. The best one, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's 8 classics.
So you're saying that's it for him?
I'm saying that's it. Nobody makes 9 incredible albums.
I disagree. I think that if you've got that kind of musical talent, you don't just lose it.
You reach a point of where there's nothing else to say. There's no other places to shift to. There's nothing new you can do, especially as the brain becomes more brittle and
Drugged?
And just old.
I don't know, man. I think that you write music about what's going on in your life and what's around in the world, and if the world's constantly changing in your life.
But I think that's what he tried to do with the Ye with the Ye album, the one that he like recorded in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and it was awful.
I feel like he can get it back, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, maybe Irina is gonna, whip him into shape.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he just needs some time away, which he's had.
Okay, let's hop over to the Kanye contemporary Virgil and the 50 dunks that he's releasing.
It's a lot, dude.
I don't exactly know what's happening here. Is the first thing. It seems like we don't have all the information yet, because we don't know anything about the release. We don't know anything about kind of like how these are coming out. Is it truly one at a time? How many pairs of each were like did they each get produced like they were a you know, I'm asking here, are there 1,000 of each of these?
Yeah.
Or are there 25,000 of each of these? 25,000 is still a tiny number as far as these releases go. But over the course of 50 shoes, that is, you know, an ass load.
One of these is available now. $200.
What? where are you popping this up?
Metosena, METOSENA.com.
Here is, let's see.
Full size run. They're going to crank these things out. And at the bottom, there's got that little tag on it that says 1 of 50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here's the gram from Virgil. It says, quote, how to solve for those 50 dunks floating on the internet, ? Or are you like, quote, why are all those dunks basically the same color? Or better yet, quote, just shut up and just tell us when they drop. I know it's confusing. Trust, the solution is less painful than an unwanted math lecture. Full idea loading. Least I warned everyone, arch_a texture is going left from here on out. One day I'm going to do a book of all my manic WhatsApp drawings. And then there's just some pictures of the shoes with all the various colors and tags and who's a what's it's. And I'm still confused about what this is supposed to be and how the release is going down.
Yeah.
What's your kind of initial reaction to just the concept of, hey, Virgil is doing 50 dunks, most of which are basically the exact same with a few
right. With a few like different
colors tweaked out.
Yeah.
And I think there might be little sets where like 10 are this type of canvas with this type of leather, and then another 10 are that. So it could be broken down a little bit like that, where there are like some kind of sets of them that have essentially have the same base, and then the colors are kind of swapped out and different.
Initial thoughts is that they're just going to crank these out. I honestly think that you're going to be able to. I don't know though, dude. You can't even get a regular dunk.
Right.
But why is this showing it available?
I don't know.
There's several websites that have it available for $199. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I think that some of them are cool.
Would you like to have a pair of these?
I think so. I'd rather have regular dunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think these will? Are you kind of the opinion that you'll be able to get a pair of these if you want?
Yes.
For a reasonable price.
Yeah. Well, if they're $200, and I guess that's not reasonable. But what is a regular dunk?
100 to 130. But I think the first time that he released pairs of these, with that have the strappy cord system over them, I don't think they were 200.
Right.
I think they were a little less than that. I think they were 130 or 150. Mm-hmm. So I'm not exactly sure what you're seeing there with them available on some.
Canary is another website. I don't know.
I mean, is this like? I guess this is just him doing his thing, where he's doing some type of performance here. This is some type of subversive statement, some type of art. Like I don't know. I'm getting like Andy Warhol soup can vibes, right? Where it's just like this big kind of collage of the exact same lithograph over and over, but in different colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think that this is? don't you think that that at least to Virgil, this is like some artistic endeavor?
Yeah, because a lot of these literally look exactly the same, but there's like a small little tag on the back that's a different color.
Right.
And like minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that they've realized that the dunk is fully back and so popular. Can't get them.
Yep.
And he had a lot of success with that first release. How many it was the 10, right?
The very first one?
Yeah.
Was the 10. Yeah.
From 10 to 50 of one silhouette.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think that the majority of these, it is like your opportunity to get in on something like this, and I think they'll release them in batches.
Yeah, like a few at a time.
Yeah. Because if you're like, ooh, I really want that one with the red tag and the red laces,
right.
I'm not waiting until
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The question is how many they made, right? If this is some thing that's geared up to be like the ultimate in hype, 50 of the same shoe, but watch us crank the hype machine up to 11, and they made a few thousand of each, then it'll just be the same story as it always is.
Yeah.
Because there will be enough demand every time as people continue to miss to sell out each and every single one. But if each of these is getting an actual production run somewhere in the tens of thousands or more, then maybe this is the Virgil Nike kind of version of Kanye just continuing to churn out 350s so that they kind of flood the market and everybody is able to grab something if they want it.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I'm with you. Right now, I just wish I could get one of the regular color pairs of Dunks. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Like this colorway with the gray that he's
with
putting
the gray
out?
and the white, but
Give
with
me that.
no, yeah, that would be incredible. But
I don't need the lacing system,
right.
although that is cool, and I like the big foam tongue.
Yeah.
But I would rather the regular one.
Yeah.
Talk to me 2 years ago. I don't care about the regular one. I want off-white.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally. But yeah, if these are readily available, I would choose a color. I would choose a color that I think is cool and grab a pair of these. And you can also take that cord thing off. I've seen plenty of photos of it, and you still have the little eyelets on there, but you kind of get the cleaner, just more basic look. So I don't know. I do think that this is more interesting than some people were originally kind of throwing out there. When this kind of initially hit the web, people are very much like, oh, he's doing 50 of the same exact shoe. Like, what a bunch of lazy bullshit. But but just like you got to give Kanye his credit where it's due. Like, same with Virgil, man. This dude is a marketing master.
Oh yeah.
And there's just no way it's as simple as that. So
it could be, but one thing that he's doing that I love is that dirty outsole, like the yellowed
outsole.
Yeah.
Big wave in sneakers right now. So okay, let's see. Did I have anything else? Yeah, let's take a look at I wanted to show you these. There's you like rowing blazers?
Sure.
Yeah?
I think so. Let's see.
There's a Seiko collab that looks like it's coming out tomorrow. And it's pretty sweet. How do you feel about the you like a Rolex Submariner?
Yes.
So it's a dive watch, and they've got some really interesting bezels here. There's the rally bezel with the black and white checker flag. You can see these photos on Instagram by checking out the account at Eric M. Wind. Eric, the letter M, Wind. He's got the photos. Maybe they're up on Rowing Blazers now too. But I like this, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is the kind of quad color here, which was I think the favorite of the Discord, if I recall correctly, when these images got floated out there, and then some type of kind of zigzag stripe thing, which is my least favorite.
Mm-hmm. Go to the
That's what the band swapped out.
That's my favorite, the black and white.
Yeah, I think the rally stripe is pretty. The checkerboard flag is nice. I like that. It's very. Apparently, somebody has done this on a bezel before, for some type of racing or sport or dive watch. But it looks very cool. I also like this quad color one quite a bit. This Seiko, it's a Seiko 5 sports watch. I believe it is an automatic, not a quartz movement, which is big. And I mean, if a lot of people kind of draw that difference, right, between like your lower tier fashion watches and once you kind of move into that that next level, you're going for that automatic movement. I think they're retailing at $495. Not bad for a kind of cool limited edition collaboration watch that might have some type of good guts, as the watch guys are saying. But just an interesting collaboration and release to be on the lookout for, especially if you're a watch head. We need to get Bilal back on the podcast.
I would like to.
Yeah.
He was great, man. He has so much information.
Yes, and there's a lot of 2021 watches to be talked about, so we'll have to schedule that.
Can I break in here with some breaking news?
Yeah, please. Oh, dude, break news on this all day long. Baby.
Randy, dub in some of the breaking news stuff. Okay, there you go. The Nike Off-White collab Dunk Low that I was just showing you is available in a full-size run.
Yeah.
I've been duped.
Okay.
These are replicas. They're knockoffs.
Wow.
They're already out there, and they're $199.
Okay.
That's our breaking news.
That does indicate that these are going to be very difficult.
And
to
that's
get.
one of the most basic colorways there were.
Well, so that's the white one, right? It's the mostly white one.
White.
Okay.
Everything.
So they're between 1 and 50. Number 1 is the almost all white one. Mm-hmm. Number 50 is the all black one.
Yeah.
Everything else is like that gray and white mix.
Yeah.
So
with different colors.
With different colors overlaying, and then I think there might be some fabrication differences as well in there. We just got to stay tuned. By the way, I know I've talked about this a little bit before, but with the rep game, the replicas out there, man, I'll Google random shit like loafers of different sorts, and there's reps for them. Like the shit you just wouldn't even think of that needed to be knocked off. If it's like by a big name brand that people are after, it's getting knocked off. I don't like it. I don't like this.
Have you ever accidentally bought one?
No. Couldn't be me. But
yeah, you've probably got 3 sitting in your closet right now.
Nah, I don't know, man. Just find a similar lower priced option. I don't know why you need it just defeats the purpose. Totally. Like 100%. The same way that like buying exclusively to resell would just kind of sours an experience for me. Takes away from something. So the very same. It's like it just, man, you're missing the point here. Okay. Before we talk vacation, let's drop in a plug for the Patreon. Patreon.com/clubcool. You have 2 tier options. One costs you $2 a month. One costs you $5 a month. There are also, if you just want to go ahead and pay up front, you can get a yearly discount on those. You get various editorials and kind of bonus content deliveries for each of those tiers. And then for both of them, you will obviously get access to our Discord, which continues to be a great place with people talking. That's where I found out about this Seiko rolling blazers. I'm rolling blunts. The rowing blazers collab. We're talking about John Elliott's new salt wash. We're talking shoe pickups. We're dropping kit picks. So that's really, that's the biggest perk of all. Plus, if you want to support us, this is the best way to do it through Patreon. Patreon.com/clubcool. I'm figuring out the soundboard.
Yeah, good job.
You know it's happening. Okay, let's do a little vacation recap here. Phil, how was your vacation?
Great. That's all, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Can I beat a dead horse here?
Yeah.
Will you allow me to do that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So San Diego. That's where I was for 3 nights. And this is a place that did not get over 70 degrees, and it did not drop under 60 degrees.
Okay.
Beautiful days. Intermittent. Sometimes you deal with a marine layer or a little, little June gloom or May gray, as they say. But for the most part, you're just getting phenomenal weather where you're not really hot and you're not really cold, and you want to wear a t-shirt, wear a t-shirt. You want to wear a hoodie, wear a hoodie. You want to wear shorts, wear shorts. You want to wear jeans, wear jeans. Got off the plane on Tuesday night at midnight here in Austin.
I would love to see it.
To approximately 89 degrees, heat index feels like 95.
Yeah, baby.
You're immediately sweating. You're wrapped in like a heat blanket that's been plugged in for hours on end on the highest setting. That's what it feels like. And this had me doing the math, right? Because like people always, It's cheaper. It's so much cheaper. That's why we're moving to Texas. If you own a house, it's not that much cheaper. I did the math, and for people in this in our zone, and so I'm not talking like super super rich. You know, I'm just talking where you're looking at buying property and you're making decent money, but not a crazy amount. It's maybe a couple $1,000s more expensive to live in California, somewhere between like $2,000 and $8,000, depending on the property that you select here and how much you're making out there. And of course, I'm talking about the difference between you're going to pay a shit ton in property tax in Texas, far more than you are in California, and you're going to pay state income tax in California. You don't pay any of that here. Mm-hmm. It blows my mind that people are making this move.
Don't get it. There has to be an explanation that we're missing.
I don't understand.
I was going to bring this up.
This place sucks compared to Southern California. Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, but anybody can carry a gun here, man. You don't even have to be licensed. I have 3 guns on me right now. You can't even see them.
I just, like, if you're and you know, for me the hardest part about moving out to California would be that you would have to go find property. But in theory, all these people that live in California they already own property. That's
that are
their,
moving. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
They're trading in that house for a better house.
Yeah,
here.
for a house that's I don't know, maybe bigger here. I don't know. Like
I think that so there's going to be somebody listening to this that's done this or is from California that we're missing something. We have to be, dude. So where we were at, it didn't get above 77, dipped into the 40s at night and in the morning. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. You open the windows, no need for AC.
No.
I'm sure there's some days that are hot.
Yep.
And that's fine. So you crank on the AC that day. I don't understand. So where we were at was, 20 minutes from the nearest beach, but that marine layer comes over. Mm-hmm. That crisp, cool air is what locks in the acid to all these grapes, and that makes it such a beautiful, perfect spot to grow wine. To grow grapes. We woke up every morning and was like, I cannot believe anybody would leave this to come to Texas. I don't understand it. Unless you live in LA in a little shitty area and a not so great situation, and you said, fuck it, I'm done with this.
Yep.
And I'm moving to Texas, or job situation, stuff like that.
You're right. We neither of us were in LA,
right?
Which I feel like is where a lot of the moving comes from. And LA is a different situation. I also do understand that it is hot in LA right now. Although your hot is not our hot, I promise you. And you're going back to 80 degree highs next week. We're stuck in the mid 90s with heat indexes going to triple digits for basically the rest of the summer, and it's not even July yet. It baffles me.
It does.
And I again, like, politics aside, like, all the problems that you have over there, you're just trading them in for the opposite set of problems here.
Sure.
Right? Like,
do not move. Don't do it. If you're thinking about moving from California to Texas, I don't understand it, dude. I really don't. There's something we're missing. There has to be. But you cannot tell me that if your budget you're in the luxury range, you cannot tell me that in a decent area of LA, California, Southern California, you can't find something for $800 a square foot. You can't. Or $1,000 a square foot.
Oh, you 1,000,000%
right,
can.
Right.
Absolutely.
I know, but these are the people
It's not San Francisco or New York.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, is that people treat Southern California like it's in that bonkers like Manhattan, San Francisco real estate. It's not. I've looked.
Right. I looked. I looked immediately. I was like we're doing it.
Maybe you get into like waterfront La Jolla property and you're there.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm talking about here. That's uber rich second home shit.
Talking about a decent neighborhood, decent house, doesn't need to have a huge backyard. Move in that bitch. Open those windows. Put on some tunes. Make a cocktail. And go to the fucking beach every morning if you want to. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay. I'm glad that we both left with this same
That's all we can talk about.
The same feeling.
I was like, what is going on? Because, yeah, we got off the plane, and I like the heat. So it's a little bit different. But of course, I would prefer that.
Yeah.
That it was dry. Now, very dry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my nose was having some trouble. And constantly applying lotion. But I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we don't get to live there, and so I'm now going to gas up Austin a little bit before we talk more vacation, and I'll also just say, the San Diego weather was so good that I'm actually not sure it's good. If you're constantly in the range where you don't know if you're hot or cold, what is that? Is that actually weather? Who wants that? Who wants just being in the perfect climate? That your body doesn't know what to do with itself because it can't decide if it wants like an additional layer or if it doesn't need it after all. And that's just you're really you're throwing off your biometrics, I think, when you're in what is basically like an air conditioned outdoor temperature.
Yeah.
So okay, the other thing that I will say here, and this is part of what I learned on my trip to San Diego. And I'm giving props to Austin here where it's due. Austin is still a very, very, very underrated food city.
100%. I know where you're going with this.
And I know that people come to Austin and for the restaurants and to experience it. But if you go look on a bunch of lists, it's still rated well below some of these other cities that I've been to. This is the second city vacation where the food was supposed to be like real pumped up and great and like ranked higher than us, and I found it pretty underwhelming and disappointing.
Yeah.
The first one was Charleston for me.
Yeah.
And the second one was San Diego, which I thought was like we had good meals. We did not have a great meal, and I can pop into 5 places in Austin at the drop of a hat, basically, reservations notwithstanding. But like, somebody comes to Austin, I can send them to 5 places where I know they're going to have like a pretty amazing experience.
Yeah.
The other thing that Austin restaurants do incredibly well is they're all like, and I think this is our small town feel that still kind of factors in, but like, man, when you do a restaurant in Austin, every little detail is so considered.
Yeah.
You don't walk into restaurants in Austin where you're like, the molding of the wood hasn't been thought through.
Yeah.
The tile hasn't been like sourced from, the perfect location and designed to be the right color to reflect the 7 p.m. sunlight that it gets or some bullshit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything, the restaurants here are very, very, very well considered, and the food is underrated still, I will say. And that's
yeah.
I'll gas up Austin there for sure.
Yeah, we had a similar experience. We had one great meal the first night. It was great. It was like a rustic Italian spot, and there was other meals that were good. There was dishes that were great, but all in all, there was I was expecting a lot more because you go to California and they've got all the freshest because we were in like, for lack of a better term, the country, but where a lot of the vegetable farming goes on, and it's just everywhere, so you can source it right there. We didn't go to French Laundry, but
right.
I would imagine that that's a whole different world.
Sure.
But what I'm getting at is like, I understand now that like the sunlight is so brilliant in California. Every day you can count on it. It's going to be bright and sunny, and all the plants grow just incredibly well. It's just beautiful at all times.
Yeah. Were you able to indulge in any great vegetarian dishes?
Yeah. So
I feel like those locations do that really well. Where they have access to such good produce.
We had a couple. The one that really stands out wasn't vegetarian, but it was featuring like a crudo and an avocado. And then we had a pasta that was cacio e pepe with truffle.
Yeah, yeah.
That was something.
Okay. Let's see. What else did I want to touch on? Oh, we got to talk about We got to talk about my surf.
Dude, I cannot believe
We got to talk about my surfing experience.
that people thought you were getting pitted. Is it pitted?
Yeah, it's getting pitted. Let's talk about this. In case you're unawares, I made an Instagram post on my personal account at Barrett Dudley, and it was a before, during, and after post. And I walked off the beach, by the way. I had Laura. She took my before post, got my howler hat on. I'm standing with my board. I'm cheesing. And then my after post, I got my rash guard on. I'm like all wet, Yeah,
sure.
Those were, I made sure I got those pics. So we're walking down the boardwalk, and I'm like, I got the perfect post. I'm just going to splice those two and put in the middle like an insane surfing video. And that'll be the during, and it'll be funny. As I posted in a notes apology on my stories, this did not work. The joke went way over heads, and I just didn't do the math right on this joke. And there are multiple reasons why. But I think the first one is that people aren't that familiar with surfing as a sport. So I don't know. I guess if you don't know surfing, you'd watch that video that I posted, and maybe you don't realize how insane of a wave that is, how crazy it is to catch that wave, how hard it is to ride an entire wave barreled like that, and then come out cleanly and like do the little board flip and like splash into the ocean.
Spoken like a true surfer.
Like that's an insane ride. That's why everybody's going nuts in that video if you turn the sound on. The second thing is the guy didn't not look. He didn't not look like me. You could be convinced that we have. He had like dark hair and some scruff.
Yeah.
So if I were to redo all of this, I would have obviously gone much more insane with the wave, one of these stupid tidal waves that somebody's surfing and like getting pulled in on a jet ski, right?
Yeah. You really blew it.
And maybe choose somebody with like long, crazy surfer blonde hair, right? So mea culpa here that I didn't do this right. But I mean, it was still really, really, really funny and surprising that people thought this was me.
I thought it was hilarious. Even Ashley was like, wait, was that Barrett? It's like, are you serious?
You would not believe the number of people that are like texting and like old teachers of mine are talking to my mom about how they didn't know I was such a good surfer.
Oh my God.
Multiple group texts, friends in Austin, my high school group text, like not understanding that this was a joke. Basically like talking amongst themselves about like, dude, I guess this guy's just been like out there like, becoming a pro surfer in his free time over the course of the pandemic.
Wow. In Austin.
I'm just going over to the inland surf park,
really perfecting.
Every other day, just hitting the waves for 2 hours. Yeah, I also don't know. I'm not sure who has started this or if this has happened organically. But do you know when sometimes when celebrities get trolled on Instagram, like people like one fan's army will go and they'll all just start posting emojis.
Oh no.
So like this happened to Taylor Swift once where something happened, I don't even remember. And like everybody with the Kim Kardashian leaking the tapes about the famous song, right? So everybody just started trolling and flooding her Instagram posts with snake emojis.
Ah, okay.
This has happened a few times.
What are you getting hit with?
Well, I now have random people just hitting my post with the surfer emoji. This is just surfer,
wow.
surfer. And so I don't know if somebody told these people to go troll me like this or if this has just happened organically, but
I tell you what, regardless, you got some good interaction there.
Very high engagement.
Yeah.
Great engagement.
I'm sorry.
That's
Been
right.
out of the game for a while.
And as I said, I'm very appreciative of the fact that people recognize that I am just a pro level athlete.
Yeah.
That I'm just capable
right.
of extraordinary feats of athleticism. Mm-hmm. Thank you for recognizing that about me, everybody. everybody
Pretty
out
remarkable that your own friends would think that that's you.
Yeah. So next time that I do this, and I really, I've surfed a little bit before, so it's not like I was a total noob out there. But I'll have to get a real video of me surfing so that you can see what I actually look like out there.
I'd love to see it.
You know, bombing a 2-foot wave and,
Yeah.
and then slipping off my board.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a very exciting thing for me. What was did you have any like standout experiences beyond food or wine? Anything awesome that you guys got to do?
Just the Airbnb itself was just lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, a little cottage on a vineyard.
Yeah.
Very private. We could just at any moment go walk through the vineyard. They had horses on the property.
How was anything that stood out about pandemic travel? Planes, trains, automobiles, that type of thing?
So we had heeded the warning about Austin Airport. What time was your flight?
Our flight was on a Saturday,
Yeah.
so not the busiest,
Sure.
not like a Friday or a Thursday, and it was at like 11 a.m.
Okay. So ours is Thursday at 7:30 a.m. departure.
Okay.
Peak time.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing these videos and hearing stories from friends of ours
Mm-hmm.
that missed flights, canceled flights, drove to Dallas to catch flights,
Jeez.
and seeing the lines that were
Okay.
just the Austin Airport, best airport I've ever been in.
Uh-huh.
Still to this day,
Yes, I agree.
they need to figure out the security a little bit better.
Okay.
There's some issues.
So the security line for me was very, very long, but that was mostly because they weren't doing the wrap thing.
Oh, it's just one line.
Just basically like one line with
Really?
a very small, like just a two wrap instead of
Oh, that's no
doing
good.
the zigzag because they don't want people, because that's more contact. You're standing closer
well,
and closer
then there's the answer.
to each other.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why it looked very long, but
Okay.
it went really quick. I'll throw this out there for everybody else that this may have happened to during the pandemic. But my Global Traveler and pre-check lapsed.
Oh shit! Did you know?
I ran up on my 5 years, and it was something that I meant to take care of last year, but it wasn't urgent because nobody was going anywhere. I certainly wasn't, and so I didn't do it. And so I'm like looking down at boarding passes, like, fuck, I'm not pre-checked.
Ooh, we're pre-checked.
Oh, so you probably breezed through.
Oh, we did, no
Yeah.
problem. But we got there super early, is what I'm getting
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
No, travel is great. California is still not anymore. I think Tuesday
They just
but everything was still very much mask everywhere. Whether you're indoors or in line outside, and a lot of places did not have indoor dining available.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
San Diego was a little bit more buttoned up than Texas, but was relatively
Yeah.
had become more relaxed about it. But then obviously, like, the Padres were only at 30%, for example.
Yeah.
So, but I do know that they're all back open. Another warning. I actually, thanks to Mind of Micah, the Micah newsletter, I got a little more inside information on this because of one of the things that he mentioned. But I thought that maybe Ubers and Lyfts were looking so expensive right now because there were so few drivers. But it's actually just because they've bumped up all the prices.
Great. Love that.
They're no longer subsidizing riders, essentially, at least not to the extent that they were. So Uber prices are out of control.
We rented a car.
Yeah, so did we, but we still had to take an Uber a couple of different times,
Yeah.
and it's just,
That's a tough pill to swallow, dude.
yeah, man, it's
Because Ubers are never good.
no.
I don't care. I've taken luxury Ubers. It still sucked.
Well, as we all get back out there and start picking up old habits, I think we're going to be slapped in the face with a lot of these prices. I mean,
Yeah.
inflation aside, like, it's just apparently all of these apps, all of the VC darlings are removing the subsidies that we had kind of grown accustomed to, whether it's DoorDash or Airbnb or Uber or whoever else, and it's like they're about to start charging the actual price that it costs for them, basically. And so
That's no good.
It's no good. Streaming services are going up. It basically means that we're just going to revert back to all the things that these things we replaced, or at least consider them as options again.
You're going to start hailing a cab?
I took a taxi from San Diego Airport to the
Wow.
hotel.
How was that?
Because the Uber prices were insane, and I didn't want to go sit there and wait for the ride-sharing
Yeah.
app line and deal with all that.
Hell no.
So there was a cab just sitting there right after I walked. I walked down the stairs. I go, how much? He said the price. I said, that's
Beautiful.
cheaper than the Uber. We hopped in and we left.
Huh.
Like, Is it as comfortable as an Uber? Like, no, not necessarily, but it's also, there's something to be said for just being able to pop in like
Convenience.
that. It was actually more convenient to do that.
Yeah.
So we did. Let's see. What else? I wanted to talk a little bit about my suitcase experience, my packing experience. I way overpacked for this first trip back. And again, like I mentioned, this weather where it's not hot nor is it cold is a little difficult to deal with. Star of the show, pair of Golden Goose sneakers. I wore them almost every day.
Yeah.
They're just it's the perfect sneaker, man.
It is.
You don't have to. They look good with everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about getting them dirty because they're already dirty.
I've proclaimed that I'm off Golden Goose.
Yeah.
But it'll
You
drag
done?
me.
You done?
It'll drag me back in.
Yeah.
But for various reasons, I'm off. There's just too many of them.
I think I
There's
know
too
the
many.
reason.
Yeah.
Is that the reason?
Well, yeah, various reasons. No, you're right. The Golden Goose will go with that. That was, I donned mine, the white pair, for a lot because it's white. It goes with everything.
Right. Yeah.
You know what else I wore a lot?
What'd you wear a lot?
Your hand-me-down J-brand canvas green pants.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wore those a couple times. But the star of my show, I underpacked. So we were carrying on, and we have this. Back when we did like this European backpacking trip, we bought these big. So we both packed in one of these things. The problem is shoes. Shoes take up so much room.
Shoes and toiletries. I got toiletries that are over 3 ounces, man. That's my issue. But yeah,
So
shoes,
you check.
Shoes are. Yeah, we've gotten into the habit of doing a thing where we check one bag
Yes.
and carry on one bag. So we kind of share the suitcases.
Right. So anyway, underpacked, but I did pack correctly. Knew the forecast would be a little chilly at night for dinners. And actually during the day, we went to one winery that was closer to the coast and that has that constant cool breeze.
Yep.
So the cashmere sweater. I brought 2 of those and then a cotton sweater as well.
Dude, that's the thing about this California.
Yeah.
Right? Is like
Beautiful.
you get there and you're like, oh, this is why people include things like sweaters and light jackets in spring collections.
Right. Yeah. And hoodies.
And hoodies. People
Sure.
Yeah. People own 15 hoodies. Well, you get to wear them.
Yes.
I got like 2 months of hoodie wear.
You're right, dude. Somebody explain to us, why is this happening? Why would you leave that? LA, I understand. I understand leaving it. I do. I've never been to LA. I've been to LAX. It sucked. No, it didn't. One portion of it sucked. It's a nice airport, the one we were in.
Yeah.
But regardless, LA, I understand. Like, that's a big city. There's a lot going on.
I understand a little bit. If you have to drive a lot in LA.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
But like, man, if you like live and work in Silver Lake and you're just dealing with the beautiful weather all day long and you just get to pop down to all these like beautiful little coffee shops and
It can't be worth it.
farmers markets and enjoy and be so close to the mountains and the beach and like
Somebody explain this, please.
the other thing that I'll throw out one more that was a big hit for me. I have a pair of the core nylon shorts from Aimee, just in black, that I got on their end of season spring sale last year, and I'd worn them a couple of times, but I went to those, I packed those, and I wore those for multiple things on multiple days. It's having a short, having that type of short that is like perfect for lunch, but you can also like go walk around a park in or do a hike in. Really nice to have that versatility.
Yeah.
On just a solid, nylon short like that. So I wore those a ton too, and those were my big things.
And that's big things.
That's the big things on our vacation recap. Man, that's all I got. That's my cap.
Man, you can tell I got a lot of sun. I just didn't want to leave the outdoors there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Great spot. Let's buy a vineyard. Huh?
I'm in. Let's do it. That's all for today, Phil.
All right.
I gotta run on out of here. Going to the soccer game tonight. He's going to be a soccer player.
Oh,
Little U.S. women's national team.
nice. Get out of here.
I
Go.
don't know who is in the lineup, but I'm crossing my fingers for Alex Morgan and Carly Lloyd. So,
Man.
I think some other stars have kind of come up and replaced them
Okay.
at this point. I think they're think they're on their way out, but
Take some pics.
you know, I love my U.S. women's national team.
Sure.
So, all right. Thanks everybody for listening. Check us out. Add us on the gram at Club Cool Pod. Hit us on Patreon, patreon.com/clubcool. And you know, just make sure you're subscribed. If you've not rated the podcast, do that for us. Drop us a 5-star review. We never ask for that. We never ask for that, but we should, and it would mean a lot for us. And yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
We'll see you soon.
Adios.
Bye-bye.